Curling now enters the Sports Weekend spotlight.
Estonia for the win. Hi again, curling fans. That was fast, Colleen. You're with the champions. 11-2 final in the championship game. Marie and Harry, congratulations. Your first major Canadian win. How does it feel?
It feels always great to win, so it doesn't matter if you're in Canada or in any place in the world, but you always want to win.
And I just found out, Devin, the secret to their success is they've got a plane to catch. So maybe that's why they curled so well so early. But what does the win mean for you?
It's great. It shows that the work we put in to make ourselves better, to make ourselves play better. There's quite some nice outcome for it, and it is a pleasure to play here because the conditions are superb as well.
Pretty nice conditions, and the field was terrific.
The field was great.
Jumping out to that 4-0 lead, which became a 5-0 lead, and you were saying earlier in mixed doubles, that's no gimme. That's not game over. No. So what do you think? What's going through your head at that point when you want to win? Are you thinking, let's just hold on?
Just put more pressure onto the opponent. Just keep on laying the pressure.
Isn't it interesting, Harry, when everything's going your way and then everything's not going the opponent? Some games are just like that. I'm sure you've been on the other side of it too.
We've been against the same team as well, but we tried to approach it end by end, so that's usually what helps.
Can I check and see if you have a pulse? You were telling me they're so calm.
Maybe when I sweep.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You guys are so energetic, both, and you're a terrific sweeper too. But you were telling me about the philosophy of Estonia, Devin, and you've got to listen to this one. What is it about worry? He's going to say, I don't remember what I said.
I guess the approach is just that don't worry too much what's going to happen. You worry when it happens. But,
he said it better the first time, didn't he?
Don't worry twice.
Don't worry twice. That's it. Amen. Okay, describe the rest of the season for you.
So more mixed doubles and more mixed doubles.
And will you also play women's?
Yes, we have ladies nationals.
Okay, so it's more than that. Okay, you got it. More mixed doubles. More. Do you have a wrap question there, Devin?
I just want to know, how are you celebrating? Because as Colleen said, you guys are so calm, you're so cool. But of course, this is a big win for you guys. How are you going to celebrate? You're flying back to Estonia right away then?
We try, yes.
Catch our flight, and then I guess some time off for holidays is a great treat for all of us. So.
What is the Christmas tradition of Estonia?
Sit with family, get together.
Okay, same as us. Drink. Okay, I get it. No, I'm kidding. Congratulations. You guys were just a breath of fresh air, and the way you played all of your games here was just flawless. So congrats. Well done.
Outstanding. So nice. Outstanding, both of you. Well done on an 11-2
get that
final.
Flight.
Colleen, we talked so much about them being on the A side and waiting around, and then they opened up in the semifinal with a 4, and then in the championship game they started with a 4. They didn't have the hammer. Where I'm standing, I watched the team call. There were some nerves. You couldn't tell right here. Take a look at this by Marie. She's been dialed in throughout the entire tournament as Mike and Danielle enter the fray, but this was such a perfect touch on Marie's last in the first end to set up the 4.
You know what? I kind of missed that the first time. Nice to see it again. I just liked everything about this team. Their energy was just so even keel the entire time. I love how they throw. I love how they communicate. I watched them when we were in outside of Ottawa. Where was that spot, Mike? Carleton Place. Yes, I was there too. But you were. Quickly, I was in and out. But their demeanor, they to me seem like, I don't know, like a perfect mixed doubles team, Danielle, if there's such a thing.
They really do. I mean, the level of play that we just saw out there was unreal. Mike had said it. It was a clinic, really. And they have such a great interaction and a great vibe
exactly
about them, that they're just calm. They're
one more,
and that's what you need to do really in order to have that success. You can't get too high, you can't get too low. So
really that don't worry twice. That's my new philosophy.
Well, and they just don't miss right at the end of the day. Whenever they've got all the shots. You saw the beautiful touch shot from Marie in the first end. She did the same thing in the semifinal. Shots I didn't even think was there. And then Harry, those 6-second hits that he can get up and sweep and chase down the ice. And really, they were, I say, flawless was a good word. Use that with their interview. And
Mike, I think you too could jump up and sweep your own 6 seconds.
They outscored their opponents today.
Wow.
22-3.
You know, I kind of took a look at it, but the math was too complicated for me.
The very best teams in the world.
What can we learn from that team for Canadian mixed doubles teams who sometimes look like they're reinventing the wheel? I guess, Danielle, let's start with you.
Well, they started specializing back in 2015, that team. So really starting to do that. We're seeing the Canadian team start to do that really, but starting to practice more, not just play in these events, but actually practice, because there are so many more shots that are happening that are very mixed double specific that you don't get a chance to practice if you're playing 4-player curling. Right. So
corner guard tick
is a great example of that. So really taking the time to focus on that.
Yeah, I was going to do the practice. What's practice? Allen Iverson quote. But Mike, what do you think?
The other thing that's important for Canadian teams to realize and Canadian fans to realize is that when we sent Caitlin Laws and John Morris to win that gold medal in Pyeongchang, being talented and being a very good curler was enough. And similar to the men's and women's game, the level of play has come up significantly in 5 years because there are more dedicated athletes. There's more dedicated, good athletes who are now curling, and it's not enough just to have 2 good 4-person curlers and throw them in and hope they do well.
And is communication not the secret ingredient to it all?
Seems to be.
Truly.
Yeah.
It seems to be. And you know, we've got 2 teams that are specialists here that made the final. Is it coincidence? Probably not. Myers and Walker are, you know, kind of our highest profile team that is dedicated, but there's lots of others, including the Tucks and many others who are working hard at the discipline.
And Brad Jacobs is looking real good as a mixed doubles player.
Right? And the challenge that they had, again, first time playing together. So maybe so talent does get you some shots, but
good looks will take you the rest of the way. Or not. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Milking it for how long now, colleagues? It's hard to say, but I think just Canadians have to be aware that just being a good curler isn't enough anymore. I think you have to practice the discipline and you know, when you run into Estonia, you know, you got a good opponent facing you, and that's going to happen at the Worlds. There's all kinds of great mixed doubles countries now.
Dev?
Well, I'm just loving this conversation. You guys are doing all the heavy lifting, but you know, it's a good point. You know, you guys mentioned it on the broadcast. Where should we be surprised about this outcome? The way it's going, number 2 ranked team in the world in Paris and Rios. Let's not forget this Estonian team made it all the way to the semifinals. You talked about it in Carleton Place. So 2 really good teams. Work to do for Canada because European teams in the final, and we saw that trend a lot throughout the Super Series. I just love that the game is growing and that there's a lot of interest, and that I think how excited the European teams are getting about this is going to put it's going to serve Canada notice, right, to step up, and I love that part of that.
It's a fun sport to watch.
Well, and I think
there
are good teams. I said.
Oh,
you
yeah.
mentioned Myers and Walker. Let's not forget Nancy Martin Tyrell.
Right.
Won 2 of
Yeah.
these events.
Jones and Lang look good. Epping and Weigel didn't have a good weekend here, but they've. That team. They're okay.
They're okay.
Yeah.
Right? So we've got lots of talent, but the point is that you just can't just show up and not play this discipline and expect to do well. So I think a lot of the Canadian teams are doing the work. That's the good news.
Yeah.
So it's great to see.
Well, you guys were great on the broadcast. And the funny thing about even when it's 5-0 after 2 in mixed doubles, there's still lots to talk about. You're guaranteed all those rocks and everything. So nice to see you again here.
Well,
Merry Christmas to you guys.
Merry Christmas.
Top notch. Merry Christmas, guys. We're going to keep rocking. Call. I think you have an update on the.
I'm going to elbow them out of the way.
We'll get out.
Yeah.
We'll get out.
Shuffle.
See you guys. Thank you. You have an update on the women's Canadian junior team.
Right. They have what a barn burner of a game they had to win in their quarterfinals, and they were down almost the entire game. I'm trying to remember, were they playing Hungary? We've got some pictures to show you.
Well, no, they were playing Hungary, and they were up 4-1, and then they fell behind 6-4.
Right.
But I believe they scored 4 in the 7th end to win 8-6.
Right. And so here's the a big shot towards the end of the game. They didn't give me all the details, but you can hear the Canadian fans in Finland saying yes. The pressure on this Canadian junior women's team, now they're in the semifinal, and the big thing is that they've got to be on the podium in order to make it to the World Championships in Germany at the end of the month. So this must have been a nerve-wracking game for it to be. There are only 8 end games. So huge win for them. And now they have to win in the middle of the morning when we're all asleep in the semifinal game. And that opponent, I don't know, it's been determined yet.
Yeah, so you got to be, as you said, on the podium. So, Call, they were down 6-4 after 6 ends, with Canada's World Women's Junior spot literally on the line. That's a ton of pressure.
Yeah, and this, of course, they had to forced into this qualification World B Championships in Finland, because last year at the World Championships, Canada, represented by Isabella Ladouceur, finished low in the standings. And so, like all of the teams have finished low, you're sent to the World Bs to try to get back into the A class. So Ladouceur, by the way, is having an amazing year this year on the women's scene in Ontario. They stumbled there. And now this has given the Nova Scotia team, skipped by Taylor Stevens, to win the Canadian Championship. I know we told this story, but just in case you're new to that curling show, welcome. But now skipped by Emily Deschênes out of Ottawa, filling in for Taylor Stevens. Yeah, so that's complicated. But
nothing for granted in curling. You got to go out there and you got to win it, and that's what the Canadian junior women are doing in Finland.
I can only imagine the pressure.
No kidding. We're wrapping up for the holidays.
Oh,
hold on. I don't need a toque. Hold on.
I like this. You look
Cole,
good.
get your hat on. Get your hat on.
My hat is on. Look.
Well, move a little bit. It's not. You got to move
like
a little. There. Perfect. No, there. Perfect. Hold on. Let me get my beer.
Devin, have you been a good boy this year? Merry Christmas. I hope all the curling fans have a great. I liked me better with Santa hat on.
No, you look outstanding. Cole, I love doing this show with you. It's been brilliant. You can see producer Soph somewhere in the background right there.
Soph and I met in person.
It's been so much fun. The first half, really, of the curling season in the books. And then, of course, when we get into January, called the provincial play downs, and then the Scotties and the Brier and the Worlds, it's going to be outstanding. We'll be back.
Thanks to everybody at the Brant Curling Club, and to Jay Allen and Wayne Tuck for making us feel so welcome, and for putting your necks out there for this Mixed Doubles Super Series. I know the work that went into this event, and they're going to grow it to 7 events next year. And Halifax on the table.
Halifax, BC, all across the prairies, and we'll be there to tell that story. That's a wrap. Happy holidays, Cole.
Happy holidays, everyone, and thanks, producer Soph.
Curling now enters the Sports Weekend spotlight.
1963, when they took the Brier to Brantford.
Hi, everybody. I'm Don Whitman with Don Duguid, 2-time world champion.
Reveille will take the game.
High drama, high intensity.